Is there a simple success formula for building an online business? The answer is yes, there is. And it's not as hard as you may think. So if you are an offline professional with expertise that you want to bring online, then today's video is for you, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a simple 4-part formula that if you apply it on a regular basis, then it will propel you to success. So I'm Mynders Glover of beyondproductive.com. And what I do is I help offline professionals bring their business online, and online people who are underperforming do the same. And I do this through product launches. So let's just jump right into this right now. I want to start by telling you a story that applies the 4 principles that we're dealing with in this discussion today. And so let me tell the story and then I'll bring them into relevance here. Years ago, I was a real estate investor, which I had been for many years, and decided that I wanted to elevate my game and become a developer. So what I needed was a way to make that transition. So it's very similar to an offline to an online transition. So going from just managing apartment units and multiplexes to developing a big project, big residential project, is a big jump unless you apply these steps. So the first thing that I did was I found a partner in my area of Durango, Colorado, who already had quite a bit of experience and expertise. And I sought him out and we decided to go into business together. The next thing we did was we sought out a project that we could work on together to develop. And it was an old strip complex that was right on the river in the prime tourist area. And we decided that we would tear that down and go through the planning process in order to build a 37-unit condo development. And so over the next 2.5 years, we went through the process of zoning and getting the architectural bids and all the other elements to go through the planning process, at which point we finally got approval for the project. So why don't we take a look at exactly what's involved as we look at that story and see how it applies to you in bringing your offline business online. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen here. And we'll start with some slides. So looking at this 4-part success formula, let's take a look at the first element. There we go. Put in place your personalized support structure. So in my story, my support structure was someone with more expertise than me who already had been through the ropes. Now, if you're looking to bring your business online, similarly, you have a lot of different paths to go down. And if you do, you just pick one that you're not familiar with, you're going to go down what I call a sidetrack, and you won't get forward momentum. But the key is to find someone with experience, not just a course, but with the experience in the specific area that you want help in developing, that can bring your expertise online. So this is in the form of a coach or a mentor. So that's the first piece of the puzzle, which is critical. And then I'll show how it all comes together as we continue. The second piece in the puzzle is to identify the short-term success path that ends in profit for you. So in my example on the development, we found a project that was within our scope and what we could handle in bringing our skills together. And that was a development project in Colorado. And so in your business, my assertion from my years of experience and working with clients is that the best way to do that is to identify a specific launch path, meaning a specific methodology to bring your expertise online and to get it from one-to-one to one-to-many. And there's a lot of different launch models or ways to do that. But the key is to match it with your expertise, and the best way to get your ideas in front of a lot of people. And that's through the specific path of a product launch. Next, creating an outcome-driven system around it. So back to the real estate development. The outcome we wanted was to get approval and then to start building our development. So the system is everything that's designed to make that happen, both internally and externally. So externally, we've got the planning process and going before city council. We've got the architectural and the engineering reviews, having plans drawn, et cetera. And then internally, we had to have all of the systems to make sure that that happened on a timely basis, and that we were following the timeline to get there. So that's the real estate part of it. In an online launch, it begins with, say, the templates and the tools and the structure, say a course, but a course on steroids, these specific methodologies to help you launch your idea and get it in front of a lot of different people. And that's what the system is all about in this four-part process. So finally, the last piece is devising a way to drive revenue that is within your budget. So back to the real estate development. In this case, we knew what our constraints were financially in terms of down payment that we could put in that would leverage to get the loan in order to go through that development process. In the online world, the keys are what people, it's your budget. What people do you need to bring in and pay to help make this happen, as well as what ads do you need to run in order to bring people in front of your launch and your websites so that people will actually see your offer and then buy it. And so with the structure that I use with clients is that we reverse an age-old way of doing business. And that is that most people online will actually go and build a list. So they will do organic traffic on social media or spend ad money in order to build a list. Then when that list is large enough, then they'll put their product offer in front of them. Well, we reverse that. And the idea is to actually create the profit-making mechanism, which is a launch with a specific outcome that you know how many people you need to bring in to see your page in order to get that outcome. And so then you set an advertising budget in order to drive traffic to your launch. So you know that if you spend $1,000, $2,000, whatever, to bring people in front of your offer, that the percentages through the whole system are going to work in your favor to make that outcome happen. So that's exactly what we do in a product launch. So we reverse that so that you're building your list with a specific profit goal and end result in mind. So let's look at these four things all together: the support structure, the success path, the system, and driving revenue. So if we look at bringing your offline business online, so if you have a structure, a course alone isn't enough. So a course, even the best courses will tell you, do this A to Z and you'll have success. So the problem though is, what happens if you have difficulty in applying that process? And it might be a process in a micro form rather than a macro for your whole business. And then there's the motivation aspect. So that's where the support structure aspect number one comes in, to take the system that you're applying and to hold your hand through the process so that you get the results that you want to get in applying it online to build your business. That's where so many people get sidetracked. They get frustrated, they apply to a first launch, they don't get the results they want, and they get frustrated and they quit that process and go searching for something else. So that's where the support structure comes in. And the success path is not just an individual launch, but how those launches come together in sequence so that you know that they'll come together to meet your goal. So we're combining three things now: the system, which is the course or the methodology, including the templates and all of the tools to help you be successful, through the success path of the launch and someone to hold your hand, and finally through a budget, a model where you know what you can spend so that you don't run the risk of running your launch and being upside down when it's all over. So that, in essence, is what the system is all about. And what I want to do is I want to show one more time here on my map, this final slide. I want to show you where you can get my roadmap, which details all of these systems. It's an entire roadmap with 3 paths so that you're not only setting your planning in advance, running an individual launch, but you're running your statistics after the launch and adjusting to see how you need to adjust the model moving forward to take your business offline into the future. So this is a 12 to 15 page document with a visual roadmap and all of the steps that are involved. So go and grab it today at rebrandly/launch map. So that's rebrand.ly/launch map. And I wish you success in your business. And until next time, I'm Mynders Glover.